everybody, welcome to Fussy Cut Crafts. My name is Adrienne. I needed to just kind of get on and do some random crafty stuff because I've been in kind of a funk lately, a mood. We'll call it just a capital M mood that I've been in for the past week or so, and it really sucks because I was feeling pretty high on life last week when I posted my first few videos. So now I need to just get in here and do some stuff on camera and just kind of talk through stuff. And part of the reason I'm in this funk is because I'm having, and I don't know if anybody has had this before, but I'm having just like a very specific crafty, crisis is the wrong word, but here's what I've been doing. And I think I talked about this in one of the videos I did. So I started a junk journal. And you see it's just a lot of random pages and stuff in here. And I think I've got 5 signatures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, I've got 5 signatures. There's just a lot of random stuff in here. And I did not sew this because I'm not well practiced at that yet. I stapled it. So some of it is a little stiffer, I think, than I want it to be, but for my purposes, it's gonna be fine. But here's the problem. I'm gonna use this to like keep track of memories of my mom, right? And I even put covers together. I used this to put together covers, and it's fine. You know, these are gonna be nice and sturdy. They're a little bit, they're bigger than the pages I have in there, but I cannot, and I know I'm putting too much like pressure on myself, I cannot figure out what to cover these boxes in. And I completed all of this in one day, basically. And I mean, I had to lay these under some heavy books for a while to get them completely flat. And I thought it would be easy to cover this stuff. And I'm getting to the point where I really just need to finish this so I can start writing in it and putting, and I've got a lot of pockety things to put in here and other stuff. And I just cannot, I want to have the covers done and on before I do that, before I get started on that. But I can't figure out what to cover these, what to cover the cover in. And I have plenty of stuff to use. I've got lacy, pretty contact paper. You know I could paint these and cover it in the contact paper. I've got dozens upon dozens, okay, of pretty papers that I could use to cover these in. I could use pictures of my mom or pictures of, you know, my mom and other family members, but I don't really want to do that either. So I'm having a really hard time trying to figure out what to do with this, and it's kind of stunting my other creative things. I even thought, well, my mom loved this popcorn, so I'll just, you know, I finished this bag of popcorn, I washed it out. I could certainly, it's big enough to cover both of these to you know, put on the cover. And I might do that, but I also might not, because I don't know what to do. I'm driving myself a little bit crazy here. Her favorite color was blue. And I even went months ago and to Lowe's and got a bunch of different paint samples, like paint chips. So I've got dozens of those now that I could use, and certainly enough to cover both of these, but that doesn't feel right either. So I know I'm putting too much pressure on myself to figure out what to do with that. So I'm looking for suggestions, guys. And I know you didn't know my mom, you barely know me, but I need to kind of just do it and get it done so that I can start actually using that junk journal. So I'm here today just to ask for some assistance, and also just kind of share some of the random arty things I've been doing lately, and get started on a project that I could turn out great, could turn out like bullshit. So we'll see. But I went ahead earlier this week and I've just painted some cardboard because, you know, as a junky person now who keeps everything either for mark making or for potential journal use, I've been keeping cardboard, and I'm like, I'll be able to do something with it. And obviously I can make junk journal covers with it, or journal covers with it. But aside from that, what else can I do with it? So this is a relatively thin piece of cardboard here, and I just smeared it with paint and dabbed threw ink colors onto it. And I think I'm just going to cut cool shapes out, and that'll be just something else I can use for ephemera, basically. So I did that recently. I've also been making stickers out of old plants and flowers that I've had in my stash here. So I made these, and you can see that this is just packing tape, and there's nothing behind it. There's just packing tape on each side. I made those, and first of all, I think it's probably best to kind of separate them and not have them be like a full dried flower, or to at least have them pressed down for a long time before you do this, because it's kind of doesn't stick that well when it's puffy like that. But I've also, something I did yesterday, I bought myself some flowers and used a backing of wax paper, because it's the first thing I could find in my cabinet, and put this together. And oddly enough, you saw from the previous ones, I did it with dried flowers and dried leaves and old leaves and dead leaves, basically. But these were fresh, and I don't know if this really will preserve them like forever and ever. Amen. But obviously I pulled these off the stems yesterday, and they're still green. And same thing, well, I didn't pull these off the flower, but these just fell off the flowers while I was trimming them and putting them in vases, and the petals are still colorful. So we'll see if that stays forever, but I can cut those out eventually and use them as stickers. Though, to be honest, with some of these, like with this page, it's just all leaves. I actually kind of like it like this. I might frame it and put it on the wall. We'll see. I have a lot of different ideas. And what I'm going to do today, while we all think about how I'm going to finish my mom memory journal, I thought it would be cool to just do some stamping and stenciling and whatever else on these two. Now, I wanted originally, I thought if I had any phone books, which I don't have any phone books, but I've got a lot of my mom's stuff here that I still need to go through. And I thought it was possible that I kept at least one or two phone books. So I looked through one of the mini containers of her papers that I have here, which are, let's be honest, mostly junk. But I looked through one of them because I thought for sure I saw a random phone book in there because she kept all her phone books. But I didn't. But what I do have that I found in her stuff is this crossword puzzle book. So I thought it would be fun to just make like collage pages out of this. And obviously you could use something like this just on its own without putting anything in it, without putting any paint or color or anything in it. But I thought it would be fun to just get out some of my supplies that I either haven't used a lot or haven't used at all and just start stamping stuff. And I also have one of those Trader Joe's Fearless Flyer thingies, which is the same type of paper, kind of a newsprint as this. So I'm just going to play around and see what happens. I've got a lot of stamp pads. I've got not a lot of stamps, but more stamps than somebody who never stamps needs. And also, I mean, I found stamp pads that I've had for years. These aren't even open. Like, they still have the plastic on them, guys. So I can break that out, or I can use some of the other ones that I have. These two are also old, and I just tested them, and they still stamp a bit. And these, I made my own wedding invitations, and that was in 07. I can't remember if it was 07 or 08 now, but it was a long time ago. And I've had these since then, and they still work a little bit. So that's fascinating to me that they're that old and still have kind of some juice to them. So I'm just going to start doing stuff and see what happens. Because I need to get out of my head. Oh, wow. That's weird. And this is stamping on the stencil more than anything else, I think, at this point. Ooh, this is weird. Yeah, I don't know how this is going to turn out. Maybe if I turn it around and do this. You just take a towel here and see what happens. So what are you guys working on? Like I said, I've been trying to do just some random creative things just to see. And I really, guys, I need to start using what I have. I've also been trying to do this no buy and really work on using. Oh, that actually worked kind of nice. And trying to really use my supplies and get out of my head and just play with stuff and not worry too much about how things look or whether or not things are attractive or whether or not I finish stuff or whatever, and just, oh, that's not bad. I mean, that's weird, but there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with a little weird. Try to figure out how to, since this is all, maybe I should pull the pages out as I do this. That way they can dry without being all smushed up together. Of course, it means I'm going to get, well, now I have to do, no, I don't have to do the back page. Okay. But yeah, I'm just trying to get out of my head and do stuff and not worry too much about any of the, now how is this not? I just bought this one like maybe a year ago, and this is less effective than the one, seems less effective than the one I just opened, which I bought in like 07 or 08 or whatever. This is very weird. I just want to play around and not think, and maybe I should try. I bought a set of these, a huge set actually, of these Delusions stamp pads, and they came with these little brushes that you're supposed to use on stencils. Maybe I should try. Oh, what's it gonna hurt, right? Nobody's gonna die if I try this little blending brush on a stencil and it doesn't do anything. So now I need one of my colors. I might as well pick one of the bright ones. Ooh. Does that? I have no idea what this does. Is that doing anything? Kind of. It's also kind of smearing things. Got more gold on my hand than anywhere else. So I'm just trying stuff, guys. I'm just trying stuff, and I actually don't feel like getting paints out, which is why I'm using these stamp pads to see how. And actually, I'm just going to go ahead and do this because that seems to kind of work better than anything else. Just rub the stamp, the stencil from the other side after you get all the paint on it. This isn't turning out quite as intriguing and as I was hoping. Maybe it's too dark. That's probably what that is. We'll just see. Don't necessarily know that this would turn out any better on the pages of a phone book. You guys remember phone books, right? You're all old enough to remember phone books, where you would at least once a year they'd send out. I can't believe I have to potentially explain phone books to people, but here we are in the future. Yeah, they would just all the numbers that were listed for businesses and or private residents, and they would put them all together in a book and send it out, and you could just randomly call people that you didn't know. It was also a good way to check on businesses and stuff. Now, I do kind of wonder if these will work on white paper, because it didn't do much in here, but that might just be because of the kind of paper that it is, that kind of newsprinty kind of stuff. Let me see. I'm just gonna grab a random envelope here and see if this works, if this brush will work on random. Oh yeah, I mean, that's a lot better, right? I think that paper is probably not the best for stamping. That's what I'm getting from this, because look at that, that's amazing. And actually, I bought a set of those. For a while, they were really popular as makeup brushes. They're kind of like this, but they're bigger and have like an oval head on them. And I bought a set of those, but these seem to. I mean, look at that. And I moved the stencil, and it still looks pretty good. Maybe I'll change my mind and just go get some white paper and do this, because this works out a lot better. Might as well go ahead and do this. See if that comes off. It probably will. Not really. Yeah, it came off a little bit. Yeah, I might just go get some regular paper and do it that way, because this does not seem to be working that well. And I can only assume that the same thing will happen with the okay, I went and got some paper, and of course, as soon as I went and got paper, the realization hit that I will have to figure out how to edit a video together, which I've never done before, but you know, I'm smart and I know how to do hard things, so I'll figure it out. Hopefully before too many days pass, because I'm hoping to get this video up tomorrow, which is Monday. So I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. But yeah, this turns out very nicely, I'd say. And this one's going to be really light because I'm just using what was left on the brush. Yeah, but look at that. That's actually fun, I think. Now, without using that, can I just stamp stuff and have it come out, or is that going to be weird? That makes kind of a lot of noise, doesn't it? The effect is basically the same, except you get the you get far more on the stencil than you do on the paper, which isn't necessarily horrible. Kind of depends on what you're looking for, probably. I'm just going to rub this on here and not be too precious about it, because you get what you get, and just because it's not perfect does not mean it can't be used, right? See, that's not bad. I don't mind that. I should have gotten something firmer to work on here. Well, you know what? Ain't no law says I can't use that or one of my 18 million magazines, which would probably be better. There, that all works. Okay, more paper. So, as you saw with me opening up that that pack of the pack of stencils here, I go through these spurts, right? You see somebody do something in a YouTube video and you're like, oh, I have to try that. So you buy all the stuff, and for me anyway, what happens is I buy all the stuff and then I don't do anything with it right away, and then I forget what I bought all the stuff for, and then I just have the stuff. So there's that, and then there's also, you watch people do cool stuff on all these arty YouTube videos, and man, this really did a nice job, like blending all the colors that were together, because I had the gold. Now I'm using some kind of turquoise, and the pink was still on this too. So it's just kind of blending all these colors together, and it actually looks pretty good. Let's take a look. I mean, look at that. That's awesome. Might as well do this side too. So I watch people do all this cool stuff on YouTube art videos. And then I go through these spurts where I'm like, I need more stencils. I need stencils. I need more stencils. I want all the stencils. So I buy a bunch of stencils and then I use them for a little while and then I stop. Does anybody else do that? You get all the stuff because you want to play with it, and then you play with it for a while, but then also you stop and you don't like keep using stuff. And I think for me anyway, part of the problem is that everything can't sit out, right? You have to put things away at some point. And if you put things away, then they're away. And when things are away, you're not thinking about them. And if you're not thinking about them, you're not using them. And if you're not using them, then that's it. It's like they don't exist, basically. And you can get in this cycle of buying new stuff, using it for a little bit, or not using it at all. Like buying it with the intention of using it, but never actually using it, and then just constantly buying stuff and not using it. So I'm really trying to get out of that. Not just because I want to use the stuff I've spent money on, but also because I'd like to, you know, I've got a house I want to fix up, and it would be very helpful to not just have a lot of random stuff everywhere. I want to use the things that are in my house. So that's my goal, and I've made it to 14 days. 14 days without spending a lot of random money on stuff. Now I've been to the dollar store twice in this time. Once to get my almond milk, which I need my almond milk, and I love the almond milk at Dollar Tree because it costs $1.25 and it's shelf stable, so I don't have to refrigerate it. I can just leave it in my cabinet until I'm ready to open it up. I'm ready to move it in the cabinet, and of course I moved that stencil. Just put it back. And I bought 2 little packets of sequins and saw that they had self-laminating sheets, which I did not know was a thing that you can get at Dollar Tree. I've never seen those there before. It's possible it's a new product that they're trying out, which is great. I love it when they have new products at Dollar Tree. So I went ahead and got some, and they're tiny. They're like this big around, like 4x6, if that big, like 4x6 sheets, I think is what they are. So they're tiny, but big enough to potentially laminate some of the random things I pull out of magazines, because that's one thing I love to do. I love looking at magazines and seeing all the arty things. I love looking at photographs and other people's art. So one of the things I really like to do is keep that stuff. I've been doing that for years, and I've actually got things on my walls that are, you know, other people's art or photographs that I love, that I've just taken out of magazines over the years. These little brushes are actually pretty good. There's some stuff coming off on them. They're from a company called Carnora, Carnora, but they work pretty good, especially if you can just keep the stencil down. I mean, that's cool, right? I don't know what I was talking about now. Completely lost it. All right, my spending freeze. So I bought sequins when I was getting my almond milk. And I'm not counting that because I managed to, basically I stuck with what I was trying to get, and I spent more money on the stuff I actually needed than on the random art supply. So, you know, I didn't spend dozens of dollars on random art stuff. I only bought those 2 things of sequins and the self-laminating sheets. So that was like, I don't know, $6 total or something like that, which feels fine to me. That feels fine. And it didn't lead to any giant spending splurge. So that's also another nice thing. I stuck to the no-buy. And then yesterday I went to a different Dollar Tree. That's one of my favorite things, is just going around to different Dollar Trees, trying to figure out, because they don't all have exactly the same stuff, and you never know what you're going to find. So I went to a different Dollar Tree, and probably because the universe was with me and helping me out, doing me a solid, this Dollar Tree, for some reason, did not have much in the way of craft supplies. They were in the process of restocking, I guess. So all I got I got some super strong hold tape from Scotch, which I actually hadn't seen that particular type of tape from Scotch before. So I was like, oh, why not? I'll get a couple of those. And I'm sure, I mean, it's Scotch tape. I'm sure it'll be great. And I also, what else did I get? I didn't get any sequins. I didn't get any glitter. And they actually, that was one of the things they were out of. I considered getting beads because I'm in a bead era. I'm in a bead phase. I've been looking at a lot of beading stuff. And mostly it's because I keep looking at these people making journals on YouTube, and they always have charms. Is that something you guys like? Because I never really thought about it before. Like, it would just never occur to me to have a bunch of stuff hanging from my journal. Now see, look at that. That is cool. I love these little blending brushes. I love it. It works. So I'm trying to stick to this spending freeze and try not to be a weirdo, even though, and I know a lot of people don't do this, and congratulations to you, because you're hanging in there more than I am. But Amazon, that free 1-day shipping, sometimes overnight you can get stuff, or the same day even you can get stuff. That is killer. Like that really not having to wait at all to get something just does me in. And so I've really been trying to just stop it. And despite the fact that I have been on Amazon quite a few times, and I've added a million things to my wish list, I have not bought anything. Has it been a full, I think it has. I think it's been a full 14 days now. It's been a full 2 weeks since I abused my Amazon powers. And it feels really good. It feels really good to, kind of get through that, because they say it takes, I think, 21 days to form a new habit, and I'm trying really hard to form a new habit, guys. And usually what happens with the Amazon stuff especially, there'll be something I have to get right. I have to get cat food, I have to get cat litter, I have to get some of my new, I have to replenish my stock of gluten-free foods or something. And I think, well, I have to get this, so I might as well treat myself to something fun. Let me try this again. Yeah, that does not work out well at all. So I might as well treat myself, right? And then that's how I end up getting just a lot of random craft supplies and books and magazines and all this other stuff that I then have to store in my home and truthfully do not have room for anymore until I get rid of stuff. So I'm trying to get out of that habit of, well, I have to buy this, so I might as well treat myself. And it's not, in general, a terrible habit to have. Let's see how this looks. You know what? I don't hate it. Even though I got some splotches there from when I was trying to just use the stamp pad, instead of using the blending brush. I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. Perfection is not real, guys. It does not exist. No matter how we want it to or whatever, it's not real. It's just what you like, what you can use, what works well enough when you need it to work. There is no perfection, okay? Just get it out of your head. So I think I'm well on my way. is what I'm saying, to forming a nice new habit that does not require me to buy something for myself, especially something that is most likely going to sit around, and then I'm going to finally put it away, and then I'm going to forget about it. I'm happy with that. Look at it. Okay, I think I will try one more. I don't know what colors I'm going to use. It's black. I don't know what stencil. I'll just put something random. Man, I bought this is a lot of stencils in this pack that I just got not that long ago. A lot of stencils. I'll use this one. It's got some nice like flowers, rainbows, splotches, and those look like birds, and just a lot of random stuff on it. So I'll try that one. What color am I going to use? What color? I did an orange. Let's do a burgundy. Cranberry? Yeah, this is called cranberry juice. This is one of the Dilutions ones. And I'm going to start right here with these birds. Why not? So things aren't going badly over here. I just have this this creative sort of speed bump. That's what I'll call it, a creative speed bump, where I'm just kind of like trying to finish this thing and not able to finish this thing, but I want to finish this thing. And again, if you have any ideas, like I'm open to suggestions. If you have any ideas at all about what to do with my mom memory journal, to finish off the cover and finally get this thing done. Actually, and it occurs to me now, I might need to just say screw it when it comes to the cover and just start on the journal. Maybe that'll be the thing that helps me get over this needs to be a certain way before I can start on it. This needs to be the cover needs to be a perfect representation of her, or my memories of her, or whatever. Maybe that's the thing to do. I don't know. But if you have suggestions, if you have thoughts, let me know in the comments. Whenever I figure out how to edit, to stitch together 2 halves of a video and get that posted to YouTube, just let me know. Now, I think this is definitely, I'm sure this looks great because these brushes work well. Let me see. Yeah, see, that's cool. But I want kind of some more contrast in there. So I'm going to use another color. Let's see, this is like a burgundy. Maybe one of these blue ones. Calypso teal. Let's try Calypso teal and see what happens. Let's just see what happens. I can't sing, guys. Apologies. Oh yeah, that looks nice. That's off center because I did not line this up correctly, so there's that. But that just makes it more original, you know? Don't balk at the originality. I like that. That looks cool to me. It kind of looks like it's very sort of like, the colors are coming out very sort of dreamy and filmy and not completely solid. So it looks kind of like an off registration, like a reso print or something, which is another thing I'm kind of obsessed with and refuse to look up additionally because I don't want to go, oh, I should do reso printing and then buy a bunch of equipment or whatever. I don't even know what it requires, which is honestly for the best. Because I need to slow, like I said, I need to slow myself down and start using what I have. There, I like that. Boom, look at that. I think that turned out pretty well. Look at that rainbow right there. I like that. And I'm going to take another piece of paper and see if this comes off on here. Okay, so I think I'm basically done for right now. It's kind of freaking me out that I have a lot of stuff all over the place. Man, that didn't come off at all. That's okay. I need to rub it. Yeah, so I'm going to try to... I'm still trying to figure out what kind of schedule I'm going to have when it comes to posting and that kind of thing. Haven't figured it out yet. Not going to stress myself out about trying to figure it out. It'll come when it comes. Yeah, I'm doing this to have fun and to just kind of share things with people because I feel like I've been kind of arting in the dark. And this is actually kind of cool. I'm just trying to clean this brush off a bit and the pattern of the cardboard underneath is coming through. Don't mind that. Don't mind that at all. Yeah, so I'm still just figuring stuff out over here, guys. Like everybody. I think everybody is trying to figure it out. I think one of the greatest lessons of life is that we are all always trying to figure stuff out because things change unexpectedly and they change quickly a lot of the time. And you just have to reorient. You have to figure out, what you value and what's important to you and just try to make it as much of a part of your life as possible. My hand kind of hurts now just because I'm very heavy-handed. I should not be that heavy-handed. But see, look at how the pattern of the cardboard came out. I don't mind that. Okay. Thank you for joining me for this weird-ish, random-ish art exploration. And do all the subscribing, bell-hitting, thumb-upping stuff. You guys have been on YouTube for a long time. You know what to do. Okay? I hope everybody's having a good weekend and that you have a good week ahead. And we'll talk again before the week is out. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a great day. Bye.